Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm the Disc Golf Nerd. Tonight we're going to be taking a look at a huge stack of plastic. I have different stuff for review. I have new discs in my bag as well, including a new main putter, new dies, all kinds of different things to show you guys. So I figured let's just geek out on some plastic, hang out together, and yeah, let's talk about it. I'll show you some of the stuff that I've been working with, some of the stuff I'm testing, and etc, etc. Before we get too far into the video, quick shout out to infinitediscs.com. They help us out with some plastic, and they also provided us with a coupon code that you guys can use to help support the channel. So it is DGNerd is the current code. If you've come across this video in the future, just hit me up and I will let you know of any current codes. You can find me on Instagram, or you can send me an email at discgolfnerd1@gmail.com. Without further ado, let's take a look at some plastic. We have the Tilt. We have some Pures that are new to my bag. Where do we start here? This is going to be a little tricky. Let's go right into it and start with the Pures. Get a couple of these things out of the way. Lots of stuff to show you. I don't want to keep you here all night, but I figured it would be fun to hang out a little bit and geek out on some plastic, as I am likely to do always here on the channel. So, first of all, Pures in my bag. Okay, new putter. I got a pair of these Eco Pures from our friends at Dynamic Discs, and I started testing these two blue ones. They went into my bag and they became my main putters. Shortly thereafter, I bought another pair of these white ones with these double stamps, and these were misprints that showed up. Actually, what happened first is I got a pair of these because I've always wanted that classic, just pure white, stiff plastic putter. You know, it's something that I've always seen at the professional level. You always seem to see, especially back in the day, that was where everybody used just plain white putters. Stiff KC Pro, white KC Pro AVRs and P2s were like the go-to putters for so long. There's something about that I just liked, just the simplicity of the black and the white. Really good looking discs. So I got these, I started putting with them, they were my main putters, and then I found some misprints for a good deal, and I quickly snagged this pair of misprints, and when they showed up, I just started putting with these because they were cheap. I have the matching pair. I also like the fact that they're identical. I can't really tell the difference, so I just grab one or the other, and it's my main putter at that time, and then I have two to mess around with as well. So it's been working out really well. If you're not familiar with the Pure, they're really great flyers as well. So not only am I putting with these, get these blue ones out of the way for a bit here, I'm also throwing this guy, which is an Opto Pure. This guy I had in the bag several years ago for a little while. I reviewed it here on the channel before I was even doing flight footage and all that stuff, and I lost it, and at the time I had so many other things I was trying, it wasn't really established in my bag, and I just never quite replaced it for whatever reason. But when I started putting with them, I decided I would get some of these Optos that showed up on Infinite, and so I could dye them. So they were both this white color when they showed up. This one got glue dyed. I am thrilled with the way it came out because it is just really, really bright and vibrant glue dye on this one. And the Opto Pure, quite stable, and I can throw this thing really hard and it won't flip on me accidentally. And based on my first few rounds with it, it's flying basically as far as a mid-range with that putter flight, and I'm really loving it. It's definitely going to be something I am looking forward to continuing to throw. My putting in general has been a little bit wacky of late, but is for sure not the Pure's fault or any other putter. But I did switch to these because I wanted to really give it a shot to try some a little bit more slick. It's not like, they have decent grip to them, don't get me wrong, and they're picking up more grip as they go, but they're not as soft and rubbery as like a medium, zero medium or something like that, or a soft, and they come out of the hand just really nice and smooth, and I just like that. And I've never really tried a really firm plastic putter, so I wanted to give them a long-term test, and I am enjoying them. So stay tuned for my upcoming in the bag, let you know more about those, but those are going right back in my bag right now, and we're going to move on. So I'm just realizing something else I forgot to show you guys. I also picked up a backup culverin, which I was super excited to find because it's the exact same run as the one that I'm throwing the most in my bag. Y'all have probably seen it, although I've dyed it since I showed it to you. It's this one right here. I've thrown a ton of shots with this thing over the last couple of years. I love it. And this one is the exact same run. Same foil, same kind of slightly swirly blue, 166 grams. And when I saw that, I grabbed it immediately just because I always want to have those backups whenever possible, of course. Speaking of backups, let's take another quick look at something else that I've been throwing, which is another Havoc that I got. My buddy Chris hooked me up with this one, and I did a glue dye on it as well. I really like the way it came out overall. It looks cool spinning. I really like the way this got really bright and yellow there. You can see it's kind of more of a metallic green, but once I got that super bright yellow on there, helps it pop a little bit. And this one has a little bit of dome compared to some of my Optos, and I like it quite a bit. It seems like it has bigger distance potential, or just like will fly a little bit farther than some of my other ones. But I'm still getting to know this one, so still kind of messing around with that one. Figured I'd give you guys a quick look at it anyway. And let's continue on with some more bag discs. Shortly after the last time I filmed a video like this, I got this Havoc here. I may have even had this in my in the bag video, I'm not sure, but I have been throwing it since then, and I can report that it's one of my more understable ones. This one is kind of what I was hoping for. It's got more wear on it, and this one will flip pretty good. So I can throw this one on rollers if I really get over on it, or just has more natural turn to it. And I've been throwing some really just laser straight hyzer flips with this thing. Really nice. I like that Havoc a lot. I'm going to it quite a bit because it's just a standard Havoc, so I'm not super worried about losing it, all that kind of stuff. It's never just a disc that I throw, you know, there's always some kind of thought process going on for the most part. Next, we have this first run Thrasher. This is a fun story. So basically, this was the first Thrasher I ever got. I got this one through a subscription service at the time, being run by my old friend, the Disc King, who was one of my old sponsors, hooked me up with a ton of plastic in the early days. Great dude. I don't know what happened to him. If he sees this, hit me up, man. Anyway, he sent me this along with his subscription service right when the Thrasher first hit the market. I was throwing it immediately. It was probably my favorite driver, like really fast. And then I lost it quite quickly. I lost it maybe after a few months. I was throwing it advanced. I left it in the fairway at some point. Somebody just picked it up and walked off with it. So 4 years later, I get a call about it. Somebody found it at Horning's Hideout, completely different course, of course. And of course, that's funny. A completely different course, Horning's Hideout out on the west side. And yeah, they found it there. My number was the only number still on it. I inked it again since I got it back, and I threw it right back in the bag. It's got a little bit more wear on it, but it is a little bit more gummy than some of the other Zs that I've had, and it is just a crusher on a straight line. Laser straight disc I'm enjoying having back in the bag. I'm not exactly going to dip my toe back into having a ton more Thrashers and stuff, but I've put this one back in since I got it, and I've played with it for a couple of rounds. I have the room in my Rebel, so I've just been kind of throwing extra shots with it and stuff, trying it now and again, seeing how it might layer with the Havocs. I'm not afraid to add a mold if it adds something to my bag. So whatever, we'll see how that goes. But let's see. Moving on. I got more Krakens, guys. You might have seen, and if you didn't, you can go check it out anytime, but you might have seen my starter pack video about the Divergent Discs starter pack. It comes with a Kraken driver, and then a mid-range and a putter called the Norwal putter, and the Leviathan mid-range. Out of the three, we really liked the Kraken, and Infinite was kind enough to send me another pair of these to keep testing them. I have since sent that starter pack off to some buddies back home, and they're using those, so I was happy to get another couple of these to try out, though, because they really fly great. We've already thrown this yellow one. It flies almost exactly like the one that we already tested, and just really flies far, and a really solid flyer. So look for a full review on that disc eventually. All right, we're cruising. Still going to be a long video, but hey, we're hanging out a little bit. I won't keep you guys too much longer. So next, we have a pair of Infinite Discs Ruin approach putters. These are overstable approach putters. 3303 are the flight numbers on this guy. So you can see, I haven't really showed you guys a lot of like close-ups and stuff because there are, discs out of my bag and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not necessarily trying to review them, more just showing off what I'm working with these days. You guys can look up all kinds of more information about Havocs or Pures or anything. I actually will be posting a full review on the Pures coming up soon, of course. Ruin. I have not thrown these yet, but there's your look at the profile. 3303. This one got glue dyed, which I think came out pretty sweet as well. good looking disc there. Excited to throw these, so thanks to Infinite for sending them over. And these may be the first actual Infinite mold that will get a full review here on the channel eventually. I just gotta figure out where it all fits in the progression, guys. I mean, I got so much plastic and so little time. All right, moving on. Just real quick, I figured I'd show you guys, I picked up an AVRX3 to add into the testing queue for my overstable approach disc video. Kind of funny that these will actually fit really well into that as well. I'll be able to represent those alongside the AVRX3. And then we got Zone, Harp, Sinus, Tactic. What else do you need? Caltrup. I think that's about it. Oh no, A3, A2. We got a pig. We got a ton of stuff to show you, so that's going to be a fun video. Stay tuned for that. Moving on to the harps. Harp is a disc that I have also taken in for that said upcoming overstable approach disc video. I got a pair of these white Origio harps. I started testing them. They immediately bumped the A3 out of my bag, which I was carrying for a few months previous to that. And I'm stuck on them. They're just phenomenal forehand approach discs. Something about the way they fly, the stability overall, the way it tucks into my forehand grip. I'm already money with these, getting up and down from all kinds of different angles. Forehand turnovers, hyzers, flexes. I can throw really nice controllable forehand approaches with this disc to pitch up and down mostly. I can throw it on short tee shots as well. I can throw them backhand and it works okay. I'm still kind of getting used to it there. I'm kind of still going with my Caltrup for a lot of the backhand approaches, but the harp's just money. I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised. Ricky was so amazing with them back in his Latitude days, and really just a phenomenal forehand disc that I just switched to immediately because these Origio harps are really easy to find, they're cheap, and they just fly awesome. So I did, however, purchase a tournament plastic harp, or no, this is VIP plastic rather, but it's essentially Opto. It's the same blend as Opto or Lucid, this nice opaque one that I always like, and I put this kind of Venom Carnage glue stencil die. So I don't know if you guys saw my recent video about my DIY die kit that the dude at The Difference Is Doing It, Bobby, sent over here for me to check out. It had all kinds of different dyes and paint brushes and bottles that you can use to do lotion dyes and all kinds of different stuff. And included in that, rather, he also sent a stencil, and this is the one I asked for, and he just nailed it. The artwork was just perfect. He cleaned it up however it needed to be. He centered it, had it perfectly sized, and he actually had the stencil marked, so I was able to put this disc upside down with some light underneath it and just mark right onto the dot that he put on the stencil. Bam, get it all on there. And then I did a glue dip with a black and red swirl. Really happy with the way this came out. I also love the way that it looks when it's spinning. Epic die, one of my favorites that I've done. And this one's going to go straight in the bag to start working on it, because if it flies much like the Origio, but it will just hold on to its stability, this could be one of my most thrown discs coming up here very soon. But I just finished dyeing that one yesterday, and I have not actually thrown it yet. Okay, we did it. We're to the end here, and this is a disc you guys definitely have heard of. And this is one that you will see a little bit closer in a full review coming up here soon, but you already know what this is going to do. Let's be honest, this is a Tilt, the Meta Tilt from Discmania, Simon Lizotte signature. Again, probably the most hyped disc on the market right now. I was lucky enough to get my hands on this one. 9116 are the flight numbers on this thing, and it's every bit of it, guys. The thing is just absolutely stupidly overstable. Maybe I'll put a couple of clips of me throwing it here so you can see, or you guys could go check out my full testing session with this thing that I just posted a couple weeks ago. Just look for that on the channel. And man, just a ridiculously overstable disc. Unbelievably beautiful, too. Look how gorgeous this disc is. I'm trying not to let you see the ink that's underneath my hand there, but like the shimmer of the plastic. If you guys are not familiar, the Meta plastic is basically Chameleon. It's Opto Chameleon. So if you look at this Opto Chameleon Fury, it's a little more sparkly maybe, but it's a similar feel to it. I don't know if it's supposed to be like the X version or just the regular Chameleon. It feels pretty much like Opto plastic. Maybe it's a little more firm. Anyway, just an absolute meat hook. Arguably the most overstable disc on the market. I am going to test this thing before we get the full review done, I'm going to test it alongside the Stego that we've also checked out years ago. That was previously the most overstable disc I'd ever tested by a wide margin. This disc has very similar behavior, but it's much faster, so you can throw it a little bit farther, and I think it's honestly a more functional disc for sure, but we'll come to all those conclusions after a bunch of testing. So we made it. Thanks for coming along with me and check out this huge stack of plastic. As always, I appreciate your support. I appreciate all of my friends, viewers, subscribers out there. If you like the content, subscribe to stick around. If you want to support me, you can check me out on Patreon. Use my code at Infinite Discs. You can also use my Team Upper Park code that you can find in the description. All that stuff will always go a long way to help me, but either way, you came by, you clicked on the video, you hung out with me for a while, and I appreciate you very much. So thanks for watching, and I'll check you later. Cheers.